Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Naaki from CZT Nadine Roller. This one starts out, this is kind of a unique one. We're going to start off with an orb, but we're going to do the orb in dashes. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, well, we'll see how this goes. All right, so in my mind, and if you've never not been following me, I'm not an artist. I can barely draw stick people, but I can do Zentangle. And so sometimes there are some tangles where I just kind of have to take several deep breaths. And, you know, or sometimes the one we're starting them, just depends. And a lot of times I'll try to figure out a way to do it so that way I can do it and then I share that. This one, here's what I'm doing is I'm picturing an orb in my head, like as I'm drawing it. And we're just going to go. And also just don't worry. Now you do want to have these little gaps be kind of narrow. I did find that out. And there we go. We did it. Yay. All right. And then we're going to draw some straight lines from those gaps. So from the ends of those lines. And from the step out, you don't actually have to go too far, but of course it's something that you can play with. Whoops. Well, and from the step out, which, by the way, in the description section, as I'm drawing these lines here, you will find my step out as well as a link to Nadine's blog with her right at the step out. Okay, so then we have these radiating straight lines coming from those gaps, and then the next bit looks, to me it looks like kind of an oval orb, but leaving a little space, for the shine, if you will. And the nice thing about doing this part next, and actually I can make that touch a little bit more, is if you need to extend any of these, take the time when you're doing this, so you can extend the lines and then do the filled in, almost filled in orb. And that will cover up things like, was when, because I already did it. When you extend the line, then you're always going to have that little bump, right? From where, like if I do here, okay, so I do it and then I do it good. It's hard to match up the line sometimes. Okay, and so just right at the tip, we're going to fill that with, like I said, and look at hers. That's why I like to share the originator of the Tangle, if I, share their step out, so that way you can see it right from their pen. And there we go. And sometimes I've drawn them just a little bit, like I say, from looking at it, well, I can't, it's hard to tell. If looks like some of them may extend over, and it's one of those, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I worry about things, it doesn't matter. Okay, then we're going to do some aura-ing. And if you are new to Zentangle, to aura is basically just to outline. So just like I'm doing, but we outline the contours. Now, you decide, of course, how close or far away you want the lines to be. And actually, let's see. I was hesitating on how my hand was feeling comfortable. You want to always say turn your tile so that way your hand is comfortable. And we want your hand to stay comfortable. That is a good thing. Now when I got to the finishing step on this, I realized it's which it's a little late for me to tell you this now, if you're tangling along, but the next time you do it, you might realize this yourself at the end. I just realized it now as I'm doing this part. So the very last kind of shading step made me realize, oh, well, might be helpful to have these sections a little bit bigger. Well, that was interesting. Okay. Just go with it. Just because of the last step. So just something to watch out for and consider. But, you know, that's why we practice this. That's also why there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle, because if something happens we don't like, there's many, many ways to fix it. I already mentioned, you know, the fill in. There's also things can get kind of hidden when we do the shading. So as you can see kind of already, this is creating a neat pattern on the outside here. And, you know, just as best you can, aura-ing that contour. And so a minute ago when I was, you know, flipping my little tile here, so what I always kind of debate with in my head when I'm aura-ing is, so like right here, I can see this line. It's very clear. And so I can see it's nice. This one too. It's easy. But then this one, you know, either the shadow or, you know, or my pen or, you know, so, because like if it's over here, it's just not clear. It's not a clear view. And sometimes I just feel like I want to have that. So then it's just a matter of turning the tile until you find that comfort place. And so it's one of those, just make sure, you know, if your hand feels uncomfortable, just something doesn't feel right, turn your tile first, or think about, okay, what am I not liking about this? Because a lot of this, you know, we're doing the repetition with the strokes. That helps us, you know, especially if you are using it for meditation, but even if you're not specifically, it is kind of a side effect. So, you know, having your hand at ease and you know, and not having anything feel uncomfortable is important. Okay. So that is essentially it. And then we can do so. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Forgive me. One more step. It was kind of hidden and I missed it almost. And so mine does not look like, mine oddly looks like a hexagon and not like a circle. All right, you know, and it's just, you just go with it. Whatever happens, happens. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of connect all of these little lines and make an outline with the pen on the outside. You know, and what's so funny is that it's one of those, it really doesn't matter, right? What, you know, the outcome, as far as the shape goes, it doesn't matter at all. It's just kind of funny. So just I started off with a circle. See? Oh, that's if I wanted to do this, it wouldn't have happened. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. It wouldn't, if I said, oh, I'm going to set out and I'm going to turn it into a hexagon. Yeah, right. All right. So once you kind of have that outline, and if you notice in Nadine's step out, it is kind of wiggly, so it's almost like, and that's my interpretation of that, was she's going, you know, from end to end to end, and however it ends up, you know, so it kind of has a neat look with it being kind of squiggly like that. It also, I like that because then it goes with the whole no such thing as a mistake, and so everything is okay. And just, you know, wait and see what happens. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding some graphite, just a little bit, on the interior of that line that we just drew. And I don't want to do too much because there's one more step we're going to do with the graphite, and I don't want to get in the way of it. And then we will use the tortillon and just, you know, to smooth it out, bring it in a little bit. Rounding off, as you can see as I'm doing it, it's rounding that edge, which is really, really neat. Now, of course, you can, you know, if you don't like to shade, you don't have to shade. If you have a different idea, go with it. That's the fun of Zentangle. All right, next step is, and this is where I thought, well, the shape of these would be helpful to do this, because you can't really see it so well, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of connect these points so you can see. And two, I could also shade it in a little bit darker, but you see how these points and these points kind of come up to a natural little triangle. And that's where I thought, oh, if these are taller and, and heck, maybe more of a standard shape like this one, it's just like, it doesn't really come to a point, but that's okay. I can make it come to a point. This one was nice. It actually comes to a point before you get to where the shading is. But, I always say, and here's another one. Yeah, it's like, we'll just make it up. And so don't worry about this point. Like I said, just make a triangle if it doesn't end up right. And I'm scribbling the graphite in there because I'm taking the tortillon afterwards and I'm going to spread it more evenly. So you don't have to do that solid. And just spreading it out. But, and I was like, and I'm glad that it doesn't always work out, because then well, if it doesn't come out perfect, that's why we don't have rulers, we don't have erasers in our kits, because we're just supposed to do and enjoy the process and then enjoy the result afterwards. And then if you can, because I know, well, I have the perfectionistic tendencies, and I think after having done this for a while, you kind of get to a point where it's okay. And then it's like, oh, then for me, it's the game of, well, how can I make this, more of how I want it? Or, like I said, where, the couple that didn't, come to a point, because you don't know that till the end. I didn't realize that actually until I, got to the end following the step out. And it, like I said, it creates a natural triangle. But, so what if it comes out like this? Just do that with your pencil. It's okay. No, you can see the result is still really, really neat. So with that, it's a very interesting tangle, and it's kind of unique. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, would love to have a thumbs up. If you know people that like to, like to draw, or like to, do patterns, or dare I say, call it doodling, feel free to share this. That would be fantastic. And if you liked it enough to see more and you're not subscribed yet, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. Hit the subscribe button, and then also hit the bell for notifications so you can decide how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all. And I mentioned the description section below the step outs is a link to my website, my Facebook group. On my website are ways to connect with me. If you'd like to come and do a live online class, I would love to have you. I do them every week, and mostly free. I do have one paid class a month, and then which helps me be able to afford to do this and offer free classes. I also have a club membership if you're interested. All the information is on my website, or if you have a question, leave it in the comments, or you can email me via my website, things like that. All right, I think that's all that I have, and I really hope you enjoyed it. This is a really cute tangle, and I'm trying to think, well, how am I gonna use it? But and then I'm thinking something needs to be in that center. I don't know what yet, but something needs to be in that center, and that can be some extra fun. So with that, thanks again so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.